Hello everyone, my name is Zhibang Xian and I'm completing my bachelor degree in finance at Curtin University. And as I stand at the age of graduation, I want to use this opportunity to pause, to look back at the journey taken over the past years, and to look forward to what lies ahead. At both the beginning and end of the unit, I completed the employability tool, and the results give me valuable insights into my personal growth. The most visible improvements were in leadership orientation, teamwork, problem solving, and academic self-efficiency. At the beginning of this trimester, I saw myself mainly as a team member who could contribute ideas and follow through on tasks. By the end, I noticed that I have grown into someone who was able to step forward, coordinate discussions, align different perspectives, and guide a group forward outcomes. This change did not happen overnight. It comes from repeated experience in group assignments, where time was limited, expectations were high, and collaboration was essential. At the start of so let's talk about our Management 3029. At the start of this trimester, in the Marshall Tower Challenge, I resisted the idea of leadership. I thought teamwork was best when everyone was equal and just shared the ideas freely. But as the semester went on, especially during our ethics and certainty discussions, my perspectives began to change. I realized that without some form of leadership, teamwork sometimes can become choices confusing, and for business decision making is never simple. Different roles bring different responsibilities, and effective choices need to balance care for people with practical realistics. Another important lesson was learned is the elevator pitch. Before this course, I had only observed these skills in practice through my mother, who is a successful businesswoman. I sometimes saw her introduce her company clearly in just a few short conversations, opening the door to future opportunities. I admire it, but I didn't realize it was a professional skill. Through this course, I realized what an elevator pitch truly is, and I practiced how to highlight my strengths and capture attention in other minutes. This is not just useful for job interviews, but also for building credibility in any professional situations. Looking back, this unit was not only about business concepts, it was about changing the way I think. I went from resisting leadership to understanding complexity to mastering a practical communication tool. It gave me confidence and perspectives that I will carry forward. Now let's reflect on my university experience. One of the biggest turning points in my university life was to change my degree path. I was enrolled in finance and management as a double major in the beginning. I once thought that covering more ground would make me more competitive. But soon I realized that covering the two fields requires completely different approaches. Finance demands logical thinking and intense calculations, while management requires case studies, discussions, and lots of other things. Trying to succeed in both creates overwhelming pressure. I felt very anxious and felt I was unable to balance between my life and study. So eventually I made the decision to let go of management and focus solely on finance. At first it feels like giving up, but later I understood it was actually an act of self-awareness, acknowledgement that letting go can sometimes be the best choice. The experience taught me the importance of knowing my limits and making choices that pursue both performance and well-being. Outside the academics, my experience at Curtin was very positive. The lecturers are professional and patient, and I received a lot of support whenever I still struggled. Another definition part of Curtin was the large number of group assignments. At first, I resisted them. I worried that working with strangers must slow me down. But over time, I began to enjoy these collaborations. Each group project introduced me to new perspectives, and I made a lot of wonderful friends along the way. These friendships become one of the highlights of my university life. Altogether, my university years taught me that education is not just about grades and lectures, but the relations, self-awareness, collaboration, and the human connections we built along the way. And we did the outside plan during our classes. As for my future, my most realistic plan is to take the China Civil Service examination and enter the public sector, and I have been preparing it for over 1 year. This part is very stable and is some kinds of very meaningful. However, if I enter this part, means my whole career would not change too much even over 10 years later. So I'm 26 years old now. In 5 years, I may already have my own family and have my children. I may put my focuses on my family life, not the career. And beyond the realistic parts, I also want to consider alternative futures. The second possible part is to join my mother's company. I would start from the ground level, learn the operations of each department. I would start and gradually take on great management responsibilities. This would allow me to apply my finance background directly in practice. The third, more idealistic version is to work in a zoo or an animal conservation, where it will not provide the financial rewards, but it would fulfill my passion to protect animals and contributing to something meaningful beyond business. By laying out these three outside plans, I remind myself that the future is not fixed. There are always multiple directions I could pursue, and each path carries its own lessons and rewards. So now I want to say something to my future self. At this moment, I still feel uncertain. This world seems to be moving faster and faster, and often I feel pursued to be fully prepared. But also know that I cannot guarantee that my choices today are the right ones, because I'm still young and see things only from a limited perspective. So here is my message to you. Stay curious, keep questioning, and do not hold tight on old plans. When new opportunities arise, please be brave enough to catch them. And above all, try to stay happy. Even after 5 years, you are still young. Do not fear change, and do not fear failure. With an open and encouraging heart, you always find yourself forward. In conclusion, my university journey has been more than an academic pursuit. It has been a process of self-discovery and growth. From struggling with the pursuit to learning to let go, from resisting teamwork to embarrassing collaboration, from understanding business complexity to preparing for multiple futures. Graduation is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter. No matter whether I remain in the public sector or join the family business or pursue a more idealistic path, I want to stay open-minded, resistant, and encourage growth. Thank you for watching, and thank you to Curtin University and this unit for giving me such valuable experience.